My first impression when I met Fred was I couldn't believe he was an attorney. The guy was such a live wire and kind of jocular in style, just very outgoing. I said, this guy can't be an attorney because an attorney can't be very good.
He's not the kind of lawyer that chews you up and spits you out, gets angry, screams and hollers. Fred taught me by example not to get excited, to relax, or in his words, take it easy.
When other people are around, he's like the Energizer Bunny, he never stops.
Fred has a big heart. He's a wonderful person. He knows how to separate business from pleasure. And then in the end, it all comes back together again. And his business associates are also his friends.
My mother was my primary mentor. She wanted us to become the best we could be. And achievement was expected. My mother wanted me to be influenced by my uncle, Bud Conway, who was an entrepreneur in the construction business. And they made sure I worked very hard, maybe harder than anybody. My love of construction and real estate really started there. After my mother, Bud Conway was a true mentor for me. And he was the one who suggested that I should go to Stanford. Stanford shaped me totally. The professors, classmates, sports, Hoover. I can thank Stanford for helping introduce me to my future wife.
My brother brought Fred home from Stanford to my parents' Christmas party.
Her brother said to me, "You're a pretty good guy, but I only have one request." He said, I hope you never speak to my sister."
I was 14. Fred was 19.
It was love at first sight.
Fred loves Stanford football.
My father never misses a Stanford football game. Back in the day when they weren't very good, anytime a running back took it up the middle and didn't fumble, he would yell Heisman at the top of his lungs.
I suggested that we might attend my alma mater, Cal, and go to a few games there. And so as a family, we approached the Cal campus in a car, and we never really slowed down. He did a U-turn and we were back across the bridge.
On the last day of school at Stanford, I was commissioned into the Navy. So I go on board that ship, and it's a spectacular attack aircraft carrier, 4,000 men, 125 airplanes. I was an officer of the deck underway, which meant I was the captain of the ship, basically, for 4 hours a day, every day that we were out at sea. And if you think you were sort of grown up, you actually grow up when you're an officer. I got a letter, which I still have, from the parents of one of my seamen who worked for me in my special services group. And I'll probably never throw that letter away. And they said, from somewhere in Idaho, "Thanks for taking such good care of my son. I know he's out there and it's a dangerous thing." And so that really was a shaping experience from the get-go. Near the end of law school, I decided, hey, I'd rather go and practice law for a year or two, and then I'll be a developer. I went to a great old 100-year-old law firm with a huge history of real estate called Stevens Jones, Lefevre and Smith. I worked on a team, and they wanted to build a new headquarters building, which they did. They needed to find out how to get the building up to 62 stories under the existing zoning laws, which would have kept the building much shorter. And then later, by coincidence, our little firm, Allen Mackins, took space in that building on the 54th floor. And there were no law firms above us, and all the other law firms in town were below us. So I could tell all of our clients that we were the top law firm in Los Angeles.
Fred's sort of a rare combination. He is the inventor or founder of the modern real estate practice. In the 60s and 70s, all the way till the mid-70s, there weren't a lot of real estate lawyers. There were no real estate firms. So Fred and the other founding partners had the vision to form a real estate firm. And then they had to invent what should that be like.
His idea with Alan Matkins was to take the 8 of us that started that firm and surround us with more and more great quality lawyers that we could hand the ball off to and have them score for us in the legal community. And it worked out pretty well. We went from 8 to 200 fairly quickly.
A very unique skill set of Fred is his ability to be a talent scout and to attract very talented people to the firm, and then to set the policies in place to motivate them to be the best they can be.
He's not somebody who's looking for all the glory, so it's pretty common for Fred to put his arm around somebody and say, this guy is the greatest lawyer in the world, or this guy is the smartest guy in the world, or this guy is the best businessman in the world.
This is the place where we hire lawyers that can work anywhere, but choose to work here because of our culture. And I attribute that to Fred. Fred would always take time to understand, how's your family? Gary, tell me about your daughter.
The skyline of Los Angeles is dotted with buildings that Fred was involved in. One of them that stands out is the Figaro at Wilshire building, because he was able to work with a team that was from Japan, the Mitsui Fudosan USA team, from Texas, Gerald D. Hines, and the two of them managed and owned a project that is considered to be the finest office tower west of Chicago.
The Wilshire Figaro project was our first major office development in the United States, so that was very important for us. And Fred's office really helped in the process of entitlement, which was a very complicated one.
The people I worked with at Mitsui also developed the Halekulani Hotel in Hawaii, which is our favorite hotel.
In the early days of Alan Matkins, my partner Claire Peck and I asked Fred to represent us on a sticky situation in San Francisco where we wanted to demolish a building and get a building underway. An existing tenant would not move out, but we felt that Fred, with his social and legal and other skills, would be the right person to accomplish that for us. And in fact, he did. And from that point, Fred and the firm have represented us for all of our projects.
One of our best experiences in my career was representing Art Center College of Design. We helped them purchase and build their new campus in Pasadena. We are very proud of our relationship with Outrigger Enterprises, and they're an old-line private hotel developer and owner. And Outrigger owns 2 of the 7 hotels on Waikiki Beach.
I was having an intense meeting, this is probably 91, with a new client that we're deciding whether they're going to hire us or not. We thought they were, and they were all Japanese. They're sitting in the conference room and a little light bulb goes on that I should run to Fred's office, see if he's there, and bring him into the conference room so that he can close the deal. He came in, and the first thing he did was draw their attention to a bunch of miscellaneous photographs on the wall, and if they became a client of the firm, he could guarantee them that they could have the same photos in their offices and or take these ones with him. And then he told them, just from memory, every Japanese client we had, every Japanese transaction, they started to make a connection with those other Japanese clients. They forgot they were interviewing us. They thought they had already hired us, and by the time it was over, it was done.
Fred always said the most successful negotiator was the guy with the best bladder. They would be locked in a room. No one could leave the room until the deal was done. Fred could outlast anybody.
I was probably 12 years old when I first met Fred. His reputation preceded him, however. He was doing work with my father, Bill, and there were stories of Fred sleeping at the office for 2 and 3 nights in a row to get the documentation for certain deals done.
At Alan Matkins, it's always work hard, play hard, have fun. I think Fred is a very serious lawyer, a very serious businessman on the one side, and then the king of entertainment on the other side.
He makes sure everybody's having a good time. He starts administering tequila shots to enliven the crowd, and always with the same old adage: tequila tonight, tomorrow we ride.
He's invented a drink, the Frederico. It's a special drink found only at the Mauna Kea Hotel.
A Frederico is basically a fruity rum drink that has a shot of Jack Daniels in it. He calls that shot the Velvet Hammer.
So Fred's the only guy I know with a drink named after him. The Frederico, the Mauna Kea, world renowned. Just like Fred, world renowned.
He's outgoing, maybe to the extent of being a little off the cuff and maybe a little crazy at times.
I remember going to a Laker game in the 80s, and he met a guy in the bathroom, and I think they struck a deal, a business deal right then and there. That's the kind of guy he is. He's always talking to everybody, anybody, at all places, anytime.
He is the drum major. He's the guy leading the band. He is the guy with all the enthusiasm in the world. Everywhere he goes, if he's going on a flight, if he's going to be on a boat, if he's at a cocktail party, he's trying to develop new clients.
Alan Matkins is state-of-the-art. To have 31 partners in the list of the top lawyers in America in 2015 really tells a story.
His senior partners have pretty much all stayed and then retired, as opposed to gone off to start their own practice. So to me, that's always a testament to somebody's management skill and leadership abilities. The coal company, 33 years later, is still depending on his firm for their primary real estate advice, including Fred himself.
Fred Allen has built a real legacy in his career. Alan Matkins is one of the nation's most respected real estate firms. And Fred is caring. He cares about his clients, he cares about his friends, and he is a loving, loving family man. Just a wonderful human being.
Fred's legacy will be remembered as one of the most thoughtful and knowledgeable advisor on both legal and business issues that the California real estate community has ever known.
But for me, I think of him as best of class. Not only the law firm, his partners, his colleagues, but Fred himself. So he'll go down as a lawyer that people look back at and aspire to be like Fred was as a lawyer, and he's not giving up anytime soon.
It's been a good run. We've had hundreds of clients and great fun, hundreds of projects, all over the United States, Mexico, Asia, Hawaii.
I've had the great fortune of being on the board of Spire together with Fred over the last several years and watched him and his enthusiasm, and it's compelling.
I think Fred's legacy will be the number of lives that he touched, from the people who work in his firm to his clients to the many people who've been served by the projects that he and his lawyers have nurtured. Fred is ebullient, friendly, engaging, and you can't help but like the guy. And you can't help but engage, so I'm really privileged to have gotten to know Fred because he's such a wonderful person.
He's a living legend, but to me, he's just my dad. He's the guy that coached the baseball team and comes to all my musical performances. He's my mentor, my advisor. He's really like the head of my fan club.
He's never, without a story. A short story, a long story, or a funny story. He's also never without a hug or a wonderful, touching moment for his grandkids. Yes, he loves to play with those kids. Yes, he does. So congratulations, Fred. We are so proud of you.
Being married to Fred has broadened my view of life. I have sort of a wide-angle lens now.
What I would like to impart to my grandchildren is to always take really good care of their grandmother and their grandfather, and as they are now, and to grow up, to be well-educated, go to Stanford, be in the Olympic Games, and live happily ever after.